welcome everybody to a conversation between you and me today. We're so happy you joined us. We're going to be talking today a little bit about, we all had such wonderful friends in our childhood, and that we should be keeping in touch with them. Sometimes that's hard to do.
It is, especially if they passed away.
Well, I know I couldn't find one of my friends, and it was really kind of weird because I didn't know what her married name was. You just don't keep up. You move someplace, or you get married too, and so nobody knows where you are, or what your name is any longer. But I happened to just put her name on Google.
Oh,
But
nice.
the thing is, she didn't come up, but the obituary for her mother came up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and I was so disappointed to see that she had passed. But they listed the survivors, so they had her name.
Oh.
Her married name.
Oh, so
And so I just went on again and did a little investigating. That
So
I found her.
to
And she lived in Illinois, and she had lived in Nevada, and but it was so neat because
could actually reach her.
we could get together again.
Yeah.
We didn't get physically, but we talked on the phone and that type of thing, and so that's neat. Having a friend from the time that you were really young, you grew up together.
Yeah. It is nice. I feel bad. My very best friend that I grew up with and spent a lot of time with, Susie. She passed away. I think it's been almost 2 years now, and her philosophy was always so good. What I remember most about her is she'd always say, Donna, I have the best bad luck. So I always thought, she always felt very
Positive?
positive.
Yeah.
A good positive feel about her. And we just, we were friends since we were 3 years old. So I dearly miss her, but she had sisters. And I'm still stay in contact with her sister. They were Susie, Sally, Sandy, and Sarah.
Well, it's nice that there's some connection because you remember all the things that you did together, and and I think youthful friendships are more.
Oh, they are. They're very. They're kind of lasting.
Yes, and they're ones that are unconditional.
Yes.
We just accept each other, and
Yeah.
I met my best youthful friend in kindergarten.
Yeah.
and so we went through high school and everything, but she's gone too, and I know that it gets harder because you'd like to have that relationship
or that camaraderie that you had. But I do feel blessed because I still have many friends from grade school or high school. I have my friend Bonnie, and she's a Waukesha person, as I am, and I also am blessed to have my sisters, right? Because you spend a lot of time with your sisters. But as you get older, people start dying off on you, or they can't do the things you want them to. And then I have the friends that are kind of mid friends, like after high school, marriage friends, marry, and so these people, and of course you and Jolene, and so all these people, I guess you just have to stay in contact, with a lot of people that maybe you don't. When my husband was racing sled dogs, I have those friends too. So they all fall into their really fun categories.
And the big thing is, they're nice if they live near you. If you don't, I know when I was younger, I used to write letters all the time, and I mean, there was no computer, and so
Now you
we
can
just
just
wrote back and
text.
forth,
Yeah.
and but it always seemed the same comfort level of
Mhm.
having that friend.
Yeah.
I think that just there. I mean, there's special things that you do with different friends,
That's right. Yeah.
that live on in you, and the thing is, if the person still is um, around,
Oh, that's
whether married or
beautiful. Right.
whatever,
Right.
widow or whatever,
It's a good
you
thing.
just have to
Hmm.
try to find them. I think sometimes you can contact the relatives if they've moved out
Hmm.
of your area, but like I use the internet and
Yes,
I think, okay,
you can
are they on
Google somebody,
Facebook?
right? Facebook has been a good connect. I've stayed in contact with some people that I actually went to grade school with, and so that's kind of fun too, and that you probably wouldn't even have contact with otherwise.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And it's that renewal,
Hmm.
it's like, all right, you haven't seen them for a while or been with them or
Yeah.
even talked with them. And
Hmm.
and you feel like that, well, my gosh, here we are together again, and
Yeah.
it's so natural.
Yeah.
And you will find that. And so, if you are yearning for some friendships, but
Connections
think about the
from,
people that you used to know,
yeah, you could
and
try and find
where
them
are
now.
they and
Hmm.
how are they? And
Sometimes I think you can put a name in Facebook, can't you? And it'll just come up if they're
right.
around, or like you say, Google or
Yeah.
something. So that's always a
Yeah, I think the hardest part is that they get, we all get married, not everybody gets married, but I mean, you get married, and
mhm.
so you change your name, and so you aren't known by the name that they knew you by. So,
Right. And
um,
nowadays sometimes people have had one or two or three or four marriages
I
too.
don't know,
That
but
happens.
well, we're old enough to probably, come
That's
into that
yeah,
scenario.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. We're probably a rare group married to the same man for as long as we were. I don't know how.
But like I moved around, and I have friends, and of course that's what was after I was married, but um, and I don't live in the town that I was born and
Right.
raised.
See, and I
So
do, so that makes a
yeah, and
difference.
so
There's
you
many
have more
more.
context
Mm-hmm.
than you think you
Mm-hmm.
have,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of like being the detective trying to find your
Oh,
friends.
sure.
I joined my high school class. There's a site that you can. I think
Oh,
it's,
yes. Yeah.
yeah, classmates or something. I can't
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're there, and some of their information is there, like a phone number or where they live or whatever. And so it's kind of like, um, it's just fun to know where people are. And then when you see the names that you were really friends with, that you really do want to, you know, just make some
Mm-hmm.
contact. I mean, it's like,
The high schools generally have like a class reunion
yeah,
thingy, and but as you get older, I know a friend of
less
mine
people.
was planning. He was planning his class reunion, and many people, he said, were now
Yeah.
dead, gone, and so that's always a problem too. I guess.
but yeah, but we shouldn't let those times go.
Mhm.
I mean, I know we always make new friends, and it maybe gets harder as we get older to make new friends, and so you have all these memories and good thoughts
Mhm.
about someone who accepted you, and you had so much fun together as young people that you know, getting together, and maybe not. Maybe you wouldn't be able to because they live in a different state or something. But
Or
you
just
can email if you
illnesses.
both have
Mhm.
computers,
Yeah.
or you could write a letter. I mean,
Yeah.
I love writing letter. In fact, I love getting letters.
Yeah.
I miss that. Nobody writes letters
No, they don't.
anymore.
They don't even send cards much anymore.
I know.
So, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a whole new world, and so
Right,
it's
right.
just
But when we do lose our friends, I wrote a column once about my friend that I met in kindergarten, and my husband and I, we went to see her and everything when we were visiting back in our hometown, and we would write letters back and forth, and I'd find out the things that she was doing, and then the one letter I got from her was, it just didn't seem like her. It seemed like that, she was depressed or, ill or something. And so I thought, gosh, I have just got to,
write her.
yeah,
Yeah.
write her. And I wrote her a real long letter telling her about our friendship and how much that I, really, truly
Yeah.
loved her. And not too long after that, her sister called me and said that she had passed away. I said, oh my gosh, no. Did she read my letter? And, she hadn't read that letter. And I thought to myself, why didn't I just call her? I mean, why didn't I just get on the phone and do that? So sometimes we have to think like that. We were so used to writing letters to each other that it was the logical way to go. I could express myself the way I wanted to her. And sometimes talking on the phone, you don't say everything you'd like to say. And I was just really
That's
so
sad
sad.
that
Yes,
you
it
miss that.
was. It was. And it,
Yeah. I feel opposite because it would be like my friend Susie who passed away. We had kind of a connection, like a telepathy type of thing. So I did get to talk to her before she passed, and it was just, I'm really glad I did. And
right. Because time is so short, and crazy things happen. We have our life, and they have their life, and so you always kind of put off. Well, I will, and then when you start thinking, well, yeah, I better. It's my turn. I should write a letter.
right, yeah.
But so anyway, if you do have someone like that,
Try not to
really.
put it off. Yeah,
Well,
because it's
I mean, sometimes just hearing their voice, or hearing how they feel, because you can detect that so much easier when people are speaking to you than
right.
if you're writing a letter. Although I could certainly see it in her letter, but
Yeah,
um, it was it was it was crushing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I always think now I've got to do whatever because of my age,
You're right.
all right,
I
do it now. Don't do it.
don't put
Don't
it
do it
off.
tomorrow or 2 weeks
Yeah.
from now or a month from now.
I know
Just do
I've
it.
tried up. I can remember having, like, really when I lived in my growing up house from like 3 years old on, and they were really good friends. I can remember hanging around with Vicky and Jackie and going, what happened to those people? But they're really hard to find, even no matter what, because they probably left, somewhere during grade school, and
Yes,
you don't know what happened to them.
that's
They
right.
they could have married. You just
Right.
don't know. So that is
Yeah.
a
Yeah. And there was such
problem.
a closeness. And you're talking
Hmm.
about neighborhoods,
Yeah,
and they were usually your friends were around your
yeah,
neighborhood.
they were all around. I mean, I can remember playing kick the can with kids, and because you were outside at night, so it's all the neighborhood kids. And
Right.
Hey, I remember you guys who are out there, and you know who you are. But it was fun, and a lot of them, as I say, we're still kind of in contact with on Facebook, and I think also forgot what I was going to say. My mind's gone, you know.
Well, you know, having those friends close to
Mm,
us when we were young, we, you know, we learned the same thing at the same time, and
yeah, in
you
the
know, I think
grade
as you meet
school.
friends later in life,
Mm,
it's kind of like a lot of times I have met people that I consider, and I didn't know that much about them
right.
because you know they don't talk about the
Yeah,
past,
that's
you
right.
know, and so you don't
Like
have anything to bring up,
right.
or you don't want to seem
Well,
like
and
you're nosy.
it's a whole different era. I mean, now you go from your grade school, your high school friends, and they kind of, most of them, let's face it, you know, they kind of go by the wayside somewhere, do their thing, and then you have your work friends. I mean, I remember lots of people from my working days and doing stuff and then some of them are still on Facebook and I really enjoy it. I found old pictures at one point that I put on Facebook and I think a couple of the gals really appreciated seeing, you know, from the
They
60s,
were
but
watching
yeah,
it,
yeah. And so it's fun. All of those things are fun, but there are still people even in that field. I go, what happened to them? The people that I actually worked with, where are they now? You know,
yeah.
for several years, I don't know. You
Well, you
know,
know, I think people who continue to live in the same area all their
mm-hmm.
life, there seems to be a an easier way to have an attachment. You go out for
Mm-hmm.
lunch, you can meet somewhere, you can go to a
Mm-hmm.
little play, you could do, you know, I mean, go
Right,
shopping together or
right.
whatever. But when you move and then
It's then
and you're in a different community,
yeah,
um, your contact it gets a lot less attention. I mean, you
yeah.
don't see them because they live off
They
someplace.
live somewhere else. I had, you know, it's well, you were in Alabama for a lot of years, so you have the Alabama friends. I have the friends from Eagle River that I still think about, and there are a lot of them are still on Facebook, you know, and it's fun because, you know, I can tease them about their snow or whatever. But I, you know, those are I'd like to say that everybody that I've ever come in contact with, I really feel um, warm about. You know, I love everybody. I think I feel blessed that I've had
Yeah,
a
that
lot
you
of,
have them. Yeah,
and then to come in here now in our old age and still find
some friends
new
too.
friends. You
It's
know,
not as
I
many, but I mean, you
but
know,
they're yeah,
because
and
we
but
just we don't get out and about as much. I
right,
mean, if you happen to be older like us,
yeah,
um, but
very old.
the thing is
We're
that
getting
if you,
older, Angie. You know we're getting older,
yes,
right?
she has a
We,
birthday coming
yeah,
up,
and she does
and
too.
I do too. So,
Yeah, we're like a month apart, and
yeah,
in
right.
birthdays, 4 years and
But
a month apart.
but our childhood friends are I don't know that they weren't like friends. They were either sisters or
Yeah,
brothers. You
yeah,
know, I mean, you know, you felt close to them. That you know,
hmm
okay,
yeah,
um, you understood each other perfectly.
yeah. I have a friend who is still alive today. It's been a friend for a long time. We went through. Well, we didn't actually go to grade school, but we met when we were in third grade. She went to a different grade school, and then but then you know the middle school, I guess, or whatever it was, seventh grade. Then we all went down to the same school, and so and we're still hanging around today, going
I
out
know, and I think
for
that's just
lunch.
so wonderful. So
Yeah.
really make that a consideration in your life. That you know, make some contacts like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, become the investigator, try to
Yes.
find out
Find your
where these people
friends.
are,
Right.
or if you know where they are and you just haven't been communicating lately, think about that. You know, I think you'll be just rewarded in such good spirit
And if
by making those contacts. So,
yeah, I feel blessed too that some of the people that I met, like married life, that I can go visit them still. You know, that's kind of cool to do that. to be able to get in the car and do that. Are we
So
wrapping
it's
this
not
up?
it's not to just don't forget them for sure.
Right.
Well, we thank you very much for joining us today, and please subscribe. If you do, you'll automatically get all of our new videos, and we always, welcome your comments. So
Right. And if
do
you're old
that,
friends, get in
and
touch with us.
and share the video with a friend.
Yes.
Take care, and thank you so much for coming to watch us.